Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. We eat sandwiches and play games. Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast. A podcast for everyone's taste.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Taste of Dragons, the Toddcast, the video game podcast that all you lawyers listen to. This week, we're at the Animal Fair. It's a far cry from the Red Room. The news is wearing suits. Our topic is creatively disappointing. And our dragon this week is shrouded in mystery. It's streamer Michael Shroud Grzesiek. And as always, my name is Brian.
My name is Troy.
Amanda.
I'm Lewis.
And I'm Joe.
Hey, guys. So this is what, week 4, week 5, I don't know, week 10, year 3? I don't know if what it is going on with all this.
From what? I mean, gosh.
Us being separated.
I have so many landmarks to choose from.
I know, right?
Separation.
And they all feel that
loneliness.
exact same amount of time. As if any.
So is everyone as disappointed as I am that our podcast isn't called Creatively Disappointing?
Oh man, it's a really good title.
It's great, right?
Really good title.
Maybe it's a good name for a memoir, a post-podcast memoir.
Creatively
Listen,
disappointed.
I don't need a podcast to be called my life, okay? Both of those at the same time.
It's not your fault, Brian. It's in your programming.
Yeah.
It is. It is
Wait,
very
Brian, are you a robot? I haven't heard this
No.
before. Tell me
not at
about
all.
this robot thing. What is this?
true. Nothing's going
What?
on.
We wiped Troy's memory last week. Sorry, I forgot to tell you.
Oh, is that what it is?
Dang it, we're going to have to do it again.
But you guys been doing all right this week so far?
Yeah.
Not bad. It's a good week.
Yeah.
We
I can't
voted.
think. Oh yeah, that's a thing that happened in
That
the
is.
Floridas. We found a way. We were doing the mail-in voting stuff, but then we didn't start completing the ballot until it was too late to mail in, because if we dropped it in the mail, it would not get there in time. So we had to physically go and find the place to like drop it off, which essentially makes us the post people for our own. We have our own private post service. It's us.
Nice. Yeah.
So we did the mail-in voting without the mail-in part.
Right.
So we just voted.
So we just voted.
That's very fair, very fair. So you guys did all your research and everything, made sure you got
Yeah,
what
it took
you
a very
wanted?
long time.
It was the worst.
It
There was a
is,
lot
isn't
of
it?
judges.
Being like publicly conscious was the worst.
It was
Being
cool to do.
responsible.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody should vote, but
Look, I was on board for like the attorney general and like the sheriff, like the big ones.
supervisor of elections.
But like the judge for like congressional court number 23 and a half, like I don't know.
And some of the judges are like, there were 2 of them. And I was like, I really like both of these judges. I think both of them are extremely qualified, and it's going to be really difficult to choose. And then you go to the next section, and there'd be like 5 people, and I was like, I don't like any of these people. Can I take the guy? I was just like draw arrows all over my ballot. But this guy belongs here, and this lady goes over here, and then none of these, just none of these.
The one that was hardest for me to figure out what to do for was the conductor of platform 9 3/4. It was just really difficult to figure out who to have that responsibility, you know?
It is a hot seat. You know, the incumbent conductor has just been there for so many years. It's almost a
has.
tyranny. You know,
Yeah,
it's
but
ready.
like some people just don't think ghosts should hold political office, and
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
have an opinion on the matter. But
no,
you know,
they shouldn't. They had their chance. It's over.
They
It's
did.
done.
They did. They should really pass it on to the next generation.
You can't make good decisions when you don't have to worry
Think
about your own mortality.
What our economy was like if all of our jobs were taken over by ghosts.
Be a fun
That is a
time.
prospect. That is a definite prospect. Well, how about we get into the games
Ghosts
this
are
week?
taking all my jobs. Sorry.
Yeah, let's get into the games.
What
are you playing?
And this week, Lewis, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, I can give it a go. So, I mean, last week we talked about Red Dead, right? And this week I'm like, I'm going to play a different game. I re-downloaded Death Stranding because I never beat it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to beat this game this week. And then I just kept playing Red Dead. It happened, and no matter how many times I disconnect from the game, I go, well, I guess I'll just press X and reconnect. And
What do you do with the downtime?
with the downtime.
Because Red Dead Online, great Wild West simulator, but is totally bugged when it comes to just a very consistent online experience, which means you spend a lot of time reloading your game.
And the load is long.
Oh, it's
a
long.
You know what, though?
load.
when I play online on my own, it disconnects every once in a while, but not as much as it does when we all play together.
Right.
That's fair.
So I have long periods of I'm actually playing Red Dead Online.
But do you tweet? Do you have like a mobile game that you play between games? Do you just stare at the percentage as it moves up on the screen?
I don't know, listen to music.
or podcasts, maybe.
I don't listen to many podcasts.
But he listens
right.
to at least one.
One.
Yeah. Okay, I listen to 2 podcasts. This one and
boom.
my friend's podcast.
Yeah.
But so yeah, there is a lot of loading. But that's what I was playing this week, and oh man, I had a role-playing experience that I've never had in a video game.
Tell us
yeah?
about it, Lewis.
No,
Oh,
I just meant no to that.
I was really into it.
You sounded sarcastically into it.
Oh, I was going for like Grease, like one of the girls.
I got the
Tell me more,
reference.
tell me
Yeah,
more?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I got that. Like, tell us about it.
Yeah.
Stan.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got it.
I mean, you know, poo-pooing my Grease references.
So the experience was I was bounty hunting, and we've been bounty hunting recently, and I was on a bounty hunting mission, and I was shooting a bunch of guys, shooting a posse, and then I captured the guy, and I was on my way back, and I passed these 2 real players, and then they started following me into town. I went into town, and then I got off my horse, they got off their horse around me, and then I turned the guy in.
That tension that you're talking about is one of my favorite things about the online thing, because since there are real players, other players in the real world that are inside your game, you never know if they're there to mess with you or just to mosey on, and that tension is electrifying and horrifying. Sorry, go on.
Wait till you hear what they had to say. I wasn't on
talk to
mic,
them.
but they were on mic.
That's right, and it's ambient talking, so it's like real world. If you get close to someone, you can hear them.
You can hear them. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
So I turned my guy in, came back outside. My horse was really dirty. I started cleaning my horse, and then they start talking, and one of them is like, "Hey, was this the guy?" And I couldn't say anything, so I was like, "What are they talking
You
about?"
were like, no, that's not him.
That's not him. He's over there. I turned into Mickey Mouse in the game. Is what happened. And the guy's like, yeah, I saw him running past like really fast on a horse.
And they were talking about you.
Yes. And they said, yeah, hey man. So he's like, did you say the bullet like flew right past me? And the other guy's like, yeah, this guy, I think he shot and a bullet whizzed right past your head. He said, well, it had to be him. You were the only one that was around, man. A bullet whizzed past my head, and then we see you just like bolt it at 90 miles per hour down the road. And they're like, what do you think we should do?
You should let him go.
Is this like a play unfolding in front
Dude,
of you?
I was like, what is, I'm just like brushing my horse.
Just minding my own business.
And they're like, hey, do you have a mic, man? And I couldn't respond.
Why couldn't you respond?
I didn't have my mic. I didn't plug it in.
Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't. I don't wear my mic when I play because I don't want to talk to a bunch of randoms.
Sure.
Especially dressed as a lady. You don't want to talk to random.
That gets weird. And they're like, I don't know, man. What should we do? And the other guy just goes, I don't know. And then the main guy says, well, we did see that he just turned in a bounty. So he was probably just shooting some other guys and not trying to shoot us. Yeah, probably. Okay, you know what? I think we'll let him go. But if she pulls out a gun, she's dead. And then I just look at them, nod my head, get on the horse, and ride away. And what I wanted to do was get on the horse, like trot a little bit away.
Yeah.
Take out dynamite and throw it at them. I wanted to, but I did not. I did not.
Oh my
because
gosh.
I would have done it, and then I would have logged out.
Throw the dynamite, immediately log out.
The most heroic thing you can do.
Yeah, it's the only realistic thing that could have.
I love that they just spent like 5 minutes
Dude,
talking about what to do
was
with the
so
possibility that you might have shot at them.
Surreal, man. I was like,
Usually, if you and I have like this roleplay moment, like when you and I were playing the other night, somebody ran into me, right?
yeah.
And then we were already in a roleplay of being like outlaws. So I was like, you ran into me. There's only one response. Pow, 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 pow. We just like went right to it.
Yeah.
But I kind of love that who those two people were had played the game long enough that it's more than just shooting. It's like, no, let's actually talk this one out.
Actually,
Let's
yeah,
talk
one
this
thing
out where
said
they
was,
can hear us.
that too. One thing that they also said was, I don't know, man, we don't take kindly to people just shooting at us. And I was like, what is happening, dude? I didn't even see you guys.
So what you're saying is that you want to role play more in Red Dead Online?
I'm not saying I want to do that. I'm saying I had a moment of someone doing
'Cause,
that
like,
towards me.
I'm here, partner. Let's do it. Tell me about it, Lewis. Come on.
If I
Troy's into
roleplay-
role playing. Come on in. He's
ew,
ready,
ew.
partner.
No, Brian. No.
We support all lifestyles, regardless
That's
of
right.
what your
If-
preferences are.
If I were to role play, I would, because now I'm trying to get the belt buckle for like the max like bad honor.
Yeah.
So I would just be murdering all the time, and you would hear me cackling evilly as I
Yeah.
murder down.
Yeah.
Lewis, that's how you play now.
Yeah.
No, I play
not that
casually
different.
shooting people on the road.
Which is objectively worse. It's scarier.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
scarier
it's the-
because you're nonchalant
Yeah.
about your mass murder.
It's the casual part that's alarming, bud.
Oh, like, did you guys see the screenshot I sent you?
Yes,
Yes.
it's just you in front of
For those listening, I sent a screenshot of my character just like posing, actually kindly, just like holding their hands, and behind
good.
her, right? It looked good. And behind her are like two bodies, like kind of beautifully positioned with like a single arrow in both of them, and you could see it. It's fantastic.
the idea that you described two dead bodies as beautifully positioned has me a little worried, but yeah, I'm not judging you.
You didn't play Ghost of Tsushima.
I was
You
about
don't
to say.
understand how beautiful bodies can lay down.
I was about to
behind
say
you.
joke in a test.
all of Ghost of Tsushima is beautiful. Red Dead, while beautiful, is not like a moving
That
art
way.
piece. They just look like dead bodies.
Yeah.
I've seen this picture.
It's very realistic.
And then, Mandy, you also played Red Dead this week, right?
I did, and I've talked about Red Dead before, so I'm not gonna get too far into it. But we did have one really beautiful moment, which was kind of like a mystery. Because we got into town and we were doing bounties, and as we got there, there was a man chasing an alligator down the street, and there are not alligators in town. So he was trying to lasso this alligator.
This is the
right?
big city.
So we go to do a bounty mission, and when we come back, we find that this genius of a man had lassoed this alligator
And it
and
was
dragged
just-
it all the way into the saloon.
Like multiple times, even before the saloon, we just saw this random person dragging an alligator and didn't think too much about it. I thought I went up to it, thought maybe I could get a sample because it was asleep. So I was like, I'll get a free sample. Couldn't get a sample. He was just dragging it. We go around the block. He's still dragging it. It wasn't until maybe a good like 10 minutes later that we come back just to find an alligator in the saloon.
But the good moment isn't like us watching him set it up. The good moment is that someone went to Saint Denis and they walked into the saloon and they were instantly attacked by an alligator, and I'm sad that I didn't get to see that. Just someone being like, what did the developers do? Why would they spawn an alligator in here? And they would never know that it was this genius mastermind. I should have looked at his name.
Rockstar. Rockstar and your janky game just bugging out on us again.
Yeah, they're still bugging out with alligators in saloons. And I remember that. I didn't see it, but my favorite part was hearing, I think it was the guy that did it. He's like, guys, be careful. There's an alligator in the saloon.
Yeah, he walks out like, whoa, how'd that happen?
Oh, God, goodness.
I want to do that now.
We
That's
should
really, really
figure out how many live animals we can put in a building.
Just put into places. Oh my God, like get a deer.
Get a panther, a deer,
And just
and one of
put it
those
into
turtles.
Saloons. Oh, my
Oh, the
God.
turtles would be good because it would take a really long time to leave.
Oh my God. That is my mission now. Oh my God.
You just opened up a new meta for the game, you know?
You did.
All right, that's pretty great. So both of your games was Red Dead Online this week?
Yep.
Yes.
Nicely done. All right, and then I'll go next this week. This week I played SpiritFarer, which is a
New release.
Yep, just came out on Tuesday, I believe. Originally, I was looking at it on Steam, and I'm like, this is a very colorful game. It's a very hand-drawn looking aspect. It kind of looks, frankly, like a game Troy would play, That's what I was thinking in my mind. So I was like, you know what?
Did it make you cry?
Not yet. I think it will, though.
All right, well, then the jury's out.
Yeah.
We'll talk,
so I'm looking at it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I won't play it. Maybe I'll just let Troy know about it. And then I log into PC Game Pass on my Windows device, and I saw that it was put on there. And I was like, well, this is free, technically. I'm going to play it. And so I loaded up, and what the game is about is you are a person new to the underworld. And
I'm already in.
So Kyron comes up and is like, "Hey, what's going on, man? I see you are going to be the new SpiritFarer. Today's my last day, so you're going to be taking over for me, and you need to find a boat because I'm taking mine, and you need to find a boat, and you need to start transporting people across the underworld. That's your job now. So good luck with that. Deuces." And like goes ahead and rows his way away. So you come to find an old friend that you knew while you were living. This person is just kind of, they're kind of all wearing like same type of robes ish. And so you come up to them like, "Oh, hey, I remember you. You're, I don't remember names because I'm terrible with them. I'm so good at this. And hey, you're this person. How's it going? It's nice to see you again." So you guys get to chatting, and you're like, "Well, I'm the new SpiritFarer. I have these." Oh, and you're also there with your cat, by the way. You're also there with your pet cat.
This
Good
game
to know.
is everything.
Yeah. And so you guys have glowing balls of orbs, or glowing balls of orbs. That's the same damn thing. You have these glowing orbs that can pretty much become anything. So that's what symbolizes you as being the SpiritFarer. And so both you and your cat have one. And she's like, "Oh, wait, you're the new SpiritFarer. I found a boat a while ago because I've been hiding out on this island. And I think you can, I haven't been able to use it, but I think with your powers you can." So you go over to the boat, and turns out, obviously, you can. But once your friend walks onto the boat, she becomes an animal because you, through your mystical powers, brings that out of her. Also known as, her spirit animal is what she becomes.
Oh.
So she turns into like a giant deer, or not a giant deer, but like
Dear God.
a deer. Yeah, a deer god. Yeah, right. And so they're like, "Oh, this is pretty interesting." And so your job, or really the basis of the game, is you're managing your boat to be fun, not fun, but to
Is it a party boat?
No, it's not a party boat.
It's gotta be fun.
No.
Hey, spirit lady, you want to get some drinks later? It's gonna be fun. Hey, everybody's invited. Come on down.
You're trying to make these people comfortable while you travel them across the underworld to the other side, pretty much. So
not a booze cruise.
not a booze cruise. I mean, it
I'm
might
out.
turn into one.
I'm out.
But
The art in the game is supposed to be really beautiful.
Oh, it's
supposed to look
very,
really nice.
it is very well done. It looks hand drawn, and it would not surprise me if it was. It looks all just beautifully animated, beautifully hand drawn. As you go throughout, you unlock new abilities, and you unlock new abilities through making the people that you're traveling with happy. So as you make them happy and you do their tasks or their requests, they give you these orbs, or obols, I think is what they're called. And using those...
Orbs, obols, globes. You got all sorts of names for round, cylinder, 3D objects.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Using those, though, is how you upgrade your skills. So the first skill you learn is to double jump. The next one is you learn how to glide. And you acquire more skills as you go along.
Is it a jumpy game?
It's like an every. I don't
Is it a
really
choicey
know.
game? I'm still not.
It's much
gathering.
more of like kind of a management sim, but it isn't, because
Okay.
you're also making these people happy, and you're just going around. It's kind of like an exploration game as well. You upgrade your boat to be able to like plow through ice that you can't get through in order to get to new islands. It's really kind of
Okay.
strange. I
I have a
adequately
strange
explain it.
feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
They advertise the game as being about like themes of like letting go, because
Yes.
you're spiriting their spirits away, and I think once they reach the other side, they're gone from the game. So you can like pal around with them and they're with you, but then you have to say goodbye at a certain point, and that was kind of the theme of the game, is like
So it's
saying goodbye in a
more
healthy way.
like a Taxi Cab Confessional. I get it now. Those did bring me to tears many times.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And so far, all the people that I've encountered so far has been, I think with the exception of one, all the people I've encountered so far are people that I've known. So like it's like my best friend was the very first person I saw. The next person I saw was my aunt. And then I saw my uncle. And then I think another one was like my grandmother or something like that. So the first people I've seen so far is that. And I think I've encountered one person who I don't know so far.
Aren't you like a fox creature?
No, you yourself are just a person. You're just a normal-ish person.
Okay.
The person the first person that you meet, your best friend, she turns into like a deer. She can kind of look like a fox as well. And then your cat kind of looks foxish as well.
Okay.
But it's
I feel
really, really
as
cute.
if somebody at Studio Ghibli dropped a script and then someone randomly picked it up and said, I'm going to do something with this.
Yeah.
And now this game exists, and I'm for it.
Yeah, it's a very fun game. Like I said, I didn't know what to expect from it. Just from first initial looks, I was just gonna, say, "Hey, Troy, you should get this." But now that I'm playing it, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
What is it? Do you know what all it's out on?
I believe right now it's out on Switch. It's out on PC. And it might be out on PS4. I'm not 100%
I'll check.
sure.
If not, I got the Switch. I can check it out there. I would like to play that.
Yeah, I'd like to check it out.
No, Lewis, you can't play it. This
right.
is me and Brian's
Fine.
game. We're gonna
Fine.
bond over this. You go back to your murder spree.
Fine, I
Red
will.
Dead. We're here about beauty. We have to take care of all the lives that you have destroyed in Red Dead. It's our job to ferry them over. Thanks.
Welcome to how Joe and I feel on every podcast.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Brian, how many sandwiches would you give it out of 5?
Oh, there
so
we go.
far, actually, you know what? I would probably give it a 3.5.
Ooh.
Yay.
Like a good,
Nice.
like in a good meaty sandwich too. Like it looks like it's got a lot to it, and it's just very whimsical. Like I'm
feel like-
enjoying it a lot.
I feel like it's got to be presented well too. It's well plated.
Oh yes, absolutely. Gordon Ramsay has definitely put his touch on this.
Yeah, that's a good rating, especially since you haven't finished the game, right?
Oh yeah,
Well,
no. I'm only
he's
maybe
rating-
like, I'm
he's
only like
rating
6 to
his-
8 hours in.
His experience so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. I'm looking forward to finishing, or not finishing, but just playing more of this game. It's beautiful. So yeah, that's my game, SpiritFarer. Man. And how about you, Joe? What did you play this week?
I played Animal Crossing.
I love that game.
And it's, as everyone knows, it is a soul stealer, the social simulator that never stops giving. So I was very lucky this week. I had a villager who I don't really love that much give me one of the final. I only need 2 emotions. I now only need 1. So this villager, she ran up to me midweek, and I was so excited. Her name is Matilda. She's a kangaroo. She's got a little Joey in her
Okay.
pouch. She ate sandwiches. I chose her unwisely.
I was about to ask who the villager was. So you don't like Matilda because they eat sandwiches? That's like our shtick.
No, I chose
Does
her
she
because
eat
she
your
had a
sandwiches?
sandwich. No, she's just kind of mean.
Oh, she's
I have her in my town. She's awesome.
Yeah, and she's kind of mean. I don't like her very much. She's very attitude filled, and she feels like she should tell me how I'm dressed every day. And maybe I don't want that kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, you don't need that
I don't
negativity
need
during
that.
quarantine.
Does the Joey talk?
No, it's just really cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
It's
that's
just
but
really
I got-
cool.
Yeah, right.
The Joey is adorable. Like I again, she had a sandwich. She was in my campsite. It seemed like the right thing to do. It wasn't, and here we are. However, I will say after. I don't even know. I think she's been here since like the 3rd or 4th week of the game for me. After since then, I have done nothing but not really talk to her unless she runs over to me. And today, this week, she gave me one of the final emotions that I needed, and I was beyond excited that she didn't ask to move out yet. And I was like, oh my gosh, I got one of the emotes. This is the best thing ever. I only need 1 now. So she asked to move out a couple days afterwards, and I was like, yeah, go on. I don't want your picture. I'm
don't
never
need you
going to put that on
anymore.
display. You gave me an emotion I needed. Thank you. Goodbye.
So she's moving out. Everybody in town's sad. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Bye, lady. Have a good time. I hope you find someplace that makes you happy, you fashion jerk face. And so I go villager hunting today. I have gone to about 15 different islands, and I've said no to everybody. I ran into a bunch of people's like favorite ones. And all I want is the squirrel named Static.
Ooh.
I have never seen Static in the game.
Is that one of the superheroes?
No, he is a purple squirrel with a lightning bolt from his forehead all the way down to his tail.
Oh, super villain, it sounds like.
Yes. Static is my favorite character in all of the games. The reason I like Marshall is because he's Static's personality, just not Static.
Okay.
So, like, I love this character. I had him in my the very first island I ever had in my GameCube. He was my favorite character. So I have always looked for him. And he was always the one I was hoping for whenever I went villager hunting. And I was like, today might be the day. I've literally never seen him ever on anyone's islands. We're in a couple of Animal Crossing groups. No one's ever shown him. No one's ever shown him even on an island that they went to.
Does he even exist?
Is he in this game?
He is in the game. He's in the book, so he's definitely in the game. So I was like, you know what? Maybe today is the day, and I'm gonna go buck wild, and I'm just gonna keep going till I get the one I want.
And you're going on the islands, like
Yes.
the plain islands,
Yes.
deserted ones? Okay.
I have like 100 Nook Miles tickets because that's the only thing I buy with Nook Miles at this point. So like, you know, I'm like, whatever. I got a ton of them. I'm just gonna keep going. That's what's gonna happen today. This is my day. After doing some adulting, I did in the morning. I went to about 15 different islands in the morning. I did some adulting in the midday. Came home, gave the dog a bath. You know, the fun stuff. And then I decided I was gonna start going up again. And I looked at one of the Animal Crossing groups I'm in, and one of my friends. He's also animal hunting today. He's on villager hunt. I'm like, this is great. We're both doing it at the same time. This is wonderful. Maybe he'll get a whole bunch of people, and I'll get to see who he gets. And then, you know what? I'm going to post it later. I take a picture of every single person I saw. I'm going to post a big thing later on. Look at all the villagers I saw today. Because I say no to people like that everybody else likes apparently all the time. Sure, then this dude.
Man, that's a bad word,
Oh, I am so angry. He's like 6 or 7 in, and he hits Static. And this said no to him.
Wait, what did he do?
Lost
Turned him
my
down.
damn mind. So my friends pop on there like, oh, that's like one of Joe's dream characters she wants. And so then I get on there like, how could you say no to that grouchy, beautiful, sweet boy? What is wrong with you? He is the best. And I'm all capital letters. I am yelling at my friend. How could you do this? Why would you say no to him? He's perfect. So my friend laughed, and I sent back. I sent some more. Like, I can't believe you said no to this. So with the very next character I got, I was like, I'm done villager hunting. There's no way I'm going to see him today. He's like a once in like a 5-month span. I'm never going to see him again. This is the sad story of Animal Crossing this week. It was hurtful. This game is mean, and I am sad. But I ended up with Marina, who I've said no to. I can't even count how many times.
Yeah. And if you were listening to the story thinking that maybe at the end of this she would get Static, you do not know Animal Crossing.
No, you do not.
But I got to see him today, so at least I know he's there.
You got the
It may be
tease.
1 in a million, but that's all right. I'll villager hunt in another 2 weeks.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Someday, when I least expect it, he may show up at my you know what one of the worst things is? Speaking of worst things ever, I had 2 stupid toads at my campsite in the last week. One dumb bad word named Tad, and then some swole idiot frog today. I don't even remember his name, but whatever it was like Tattle or Toady or whatever. Both of those bad word stupid toads were in islands.
It was top.
We need to get you to talk about Animal Crossing uncensored. We need to just get Joe's corner set up and just let you just riff and just let all of this anger out. I want to hear all the bad words, Joe. I want to hear all the bad words.
It's just the contrast between this cute game and then all of these bad words.
I want to hear it.
All the bad words. I was so mad. No, I'm trying to be good because we have some friends that are streaming and whatnot, and I'm trying to be better about the terminology I use when talking about very adorable, cute animal characters. I feel like sometimes people don't understand that I'm just kidding around. The F word's just an adjective for me. It's not like I really hate that thing, but
right.
people who don't know me may not know any better. So,
but you make a good point. What was the kangaroo's name again?
Matilda.
Yeah, Matilda, like the way you are to Matilda is how maybe someone else is, or the way you are to Static is maybe how someone else is to Matilda. So
Right.
you going off on certain characters,
Right?
it could go bad. But that's why I want to watch it all the more.
These are people's faves sometimes. I doubt Matilda is. She's awful. But maybe she
Damn.
Yeah, it's cold. It's cold over here in Katsusando.
All right, so that was your game, Joe. Disappointment. I mean, Animal Crossing.
Yep. The crossing of disappointment.
And then that leads us to Troy. What did you play this week, sir?
That's me. I played FarCry 5, the 2018 first-person shooter open world action exploration game.
What?
Oh my gosh. Yes, Far Cry 5. I got this game a couple years ago. I played all the Far Cries, and I started this a couple years ago, and I had that open world burnout happening at that time. I think it was probably around the time the Red Dead came out and all that, or something, or Assassin's Creed. And I was just like, I just can't. The both, yeah. I can't do it. I can't. Not
please
right now.
close up my world.
Yes,
close
just
it up.
give me a closed world, please. So I always meant to go back to it, and I even tried once. It just didn't work. But we've been doing a lot of fun open world games. Ghost of Tsushima really got that bug back in it for me, and so did Red Dead Online as we've been playing it. So I was like, now's the time. I want to start this game. I also can't afford any new games, so let's bust out the backlog. The premise to this game is hilarious. It takes place in Montana in a place called Hope County, all centered around someone named Joseph Seed and his family, and they pretty much lead a group who believe in them. As Manny put it on our stream last week, if 40 people have one dad, that is a cult. And that is a good science to kind of hold on to.
Yeah, you gotta want, like, if you're ever in a place and 40 people are calling one guy father, then just leave. Just don't make a big deal out of it.
Don't make a big
That's
deal.
a sign.
Just
Just
it's like
come up with an excuse.
Oh, that's your dad? Oh, that's your dad. And that's your dad? That's your dad? That's your dad? That's your dad? I gotta go. So I really dig the premise of it, of the fact that it's in America, because the previous Far Cries have been in different countries, islands, and whatnot. That it's kind of cool to have some place that I've been to. Me and Amanda have been to Montana before, so it's kind of cool to play someplace that you've been.
And it's a good implication that, like, even America also has depressive places with like regimes and violence.
It could happen. Yeah,
just
it could happen
implying
everywhere.
that it only happens other places.
Yeah, so it's not just like foreigners have problems. It's like, no, we have problems here as well. So pretty much this cult like locks down this area and pretty much makes their own country, and everyone. It's pretty much just to the wind. Help isn't coming, and you get stranded there, and it's kind of your job to help kind of liberate the people that are also trapped in this land. So that's all great and all, but here's where the game has fallen apart for me. And yes, I'm going negative. It doesn't happen very often, y'all, but it's happening right now. It's happening right now. I can say without a shadow of a doubt that this game is just too much. It's too much. I wanted that open world, and it's just like, what else do you want? You want the world? You want the universe? How about the creation of well, I don't know what's bigger than the universe, man. I don't know.
That's it. That's
it. It's as big as you get.
That's it. That's done.
The real universe.
There it is.
What?
The universe that this universe is inside.
The turtle.
The turtle. Thank you. There it is. There it is. So what I mean by that is, like, in Ghost of Tsushima, you'd be just riding on your horse someplace, and maybe there's someone who needs help on the road. You help them out. You save them. They say thank you. Maybe they tell you about something on the map. You get on your horse. You ride it away. That doesn't happen in this game. If I'm riding down the road in my car and I see someone who's tied up, I can untie them, save them, untie them, and then maybe they'll start talking and be like, hey, I heard about this thing. Halfway in the middle of them talking, a plane will come overhead, see me, and start shooting at me. I then have to take down this plane. That's a great experience. Awesome. So I'll go back to go talk to this guy. Before he can get out another sentence, a cougar pops up, and then a bear, and then all of a sudden a caravan with a Jeep and a VIP and this zombie dude. And I'm just like, I just want to get back on my horse and ride away.
Damn.
Metaphorically. But I can't. So what happens is just everything is happening all the time, which I guess is them trying to say, hey, look at all this excitement. But I'm not getting a lot done because I keep getting bogged down by just the random acts of the open world. And it's kind of ruining the progression of the game for me because as I'm leveling up and the story is locked behind your experience. So even though I haven't done many side missions, I have a bunch of experience just trying to get to the side missions, so that the story has already I've already saved this county and I haven't done anything. And it just feels so weird. And so that being said, part of me is hoping that this is intentional, because I've played through the FarCry games and I think they're actually pretty tight considering. They're fun, they're over the top, you're hang gliding, you're wingsuiting, you're doing all this stuff, but I want to think that this is intentional, and this is like Ubisoft's commentary on America by just turning everything up and giving you too much of a good thing. Like it's like gluttony.
Oh,
There it
too
is.
much of a good thing.
Yeah, it's too gluttonous, and I'm starting to feel like it's just a commentary on how they see America. And if it's not, that's how I'm going to take it anyway.
Bright side.
Yeah. The ally system is good. You get to pal around with some fun people, and you can pretty much get around with that. And the world sandbox is beautiful. The waterfalls, the trees, the animals. You can fish in the game. It's a really serene game, so it can be really serene. I mean, when the world isn't trying to destroy you all at once. But all that stuff is good. So that being said, I'm still playing it. But I've kind of just had to turn my brain off to it and just enjoy just the easy mechanics to it. Which is not as rich of experience as I was hoping to get, but still I'm having a good time. There's an online component, so if you did online stuff, then yes, you would be able to see each other's character. But a majority of the game is single player, so it's really no point. I see my
What's the
hands.
point?
I got some dope gloves, fingerless. Thank you very much.
The rest of your body might as well be naked.
It's just for
Honestly.
like my own imagination.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that for Cyberpunk, if I'm being honest.
Yes.
Because they that character seems like that would be
But-
so amazing to look at, but then you're just going to see your hands.
Cyberpunk pretty much has shown that a lot of their cutscenes, you get to see the character interact and do things, whereas Far Cry, all the cutscenes are first person anyway, so you never see your character.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, because you can like look around. It's a little bit like Half-Life, where you kind of look around during the cutscene.
I mean, I guess I get what they're doing, but I'd rather have the option to go first person instead of just, and you are forced to do this.
You mean third person?
third person? No.
Either way.
No, first
Yeah,
person
either
is
way.
hands on.
No, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'd want the option to do that if I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Instead of being forced into this hand game.
Moving on.
Thank
So
you,
that was
thank you.
choice
You mean-
made.
You mean
How
patty
many
cakes?
sandwiches?
Oh, that's right. How many
Oh, yeah.
sandwiches would you
Ooh,
give it?
Oh, right now I'm like at 1.5.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right now.
Damn.
It is slowly growing on me the more that I'm understanding how the world works. But
But you.
I prescribe it to probably be a 2 by the end of it.
Okay.
Moving on up.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that was your game, Far Cry 5. And that'll do it for our games this week. Now it brings us to our news segment.
News. You snooze.
Snooze. And this week, let's start with the biggest news I think we've covered this year, possibly even ever. And that is, get ready for it, Tim the Tap Man finally won a game of Fall Guys. I know. It's a shock. The popular streamer captured the online world earlier this week and gained more and more attention the more he went on without a win. ESPN even had a webpage dedicated to if he had won a game yet.
ESPN? Wow.
ESPN. At his peak, he had almost 350,000 people watching him when he finally got his win.
Wow.
So it took him, I think, 8 days. And
From what I
and,
understand, he was trying to win. He pretty much said like, "Hey, this is a game for kids," and whatever. He's one of the top streamers already on Twitch. And apparently, what he started noticing in his game is that his own followers were actively trying to sabotage him because they knew he was playing, so they tried to get in his game. And it's 60 people in the game, so odds are at least maybe 2 or 3 of them know who he is.
No.
And they would just be messing with him.
People messed with him hard,
Hardcore.
man. Like they did things I didn't even know you could do to mess with people. And I've watched some hot dogs do some really messed up things.
Dog.
yeah, I think he even like one of his clips was he was playing and he was just dressed as a normal pink jelly bean, and in his game about a third of the players were pink jelly beans.
Oh.
And it was
So good.
crazy. So people were watching him and just trying to wear whatever he was wearing to try to get people off of his thing,
Oh, to help him. Oh, that's cute.
I think to help him, and also just to, just to be in on it,
Yeah.
Genius.
But it was pretty great. I mean, good for him, and getting marketing for both himself and Fall Guys. Like Fall Guys
Honestly.
official Twitter got in on it.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it
they
was-
were commenting
it was
on
amazing.
it. And
like-
his subscriptions went up like 600 something million or something like that just in the last.
I think he went from
after he won.
Yeah, because he normally has like 35,000 subscribers a month
Yeah.
or something like that. And after this, he went up to 42,000, I think, something
Wow.
like that.
Paid. That's money.
Yeah,
Money.
that is
son.
money. And
Yeah.
I mean, getting money for being terrible at a 6-year-old's game.
What
We can do
am I
that.
doing with my life?
Do you guys want to buy a Sesame Street game and then continually lose at it?
Uh-huh,
They
Done.
still do that? Huh?
Can I flip out by not winning? Because I feel like that's the ticker there.
That was the ticker, I agree. But yeah, definitely look up some of it. It is genuinely actually funny what happened to him. So moving on. Now to what is actually, I think, the biggest news this year. And we touched on this last week, but Epic is, suing Apple over the unfair business practices of all that jazz going on. Well, this week, Apple fired back and removed Epic's access to its SDK, or software development kits, as they're known. And these are vital for making anything for iPhones, Macs, anything that has to do with Apple. So you may be thinking, okay, well, what's the big deal? It's just Fortnite. They've already been removed. Well, Epic also creates a little something called the Unreal Engine, and they will no longer be able to develop for iPhones or Macs without having that SDK.
This is so ugly. To be honest, I don't see Epic coming out of this on top. I mean, Apple is Apple, yo. Like Apple
yeah.
broke $2 trillion last week. $2 trillion, the first company ever. I don't think Epic is, like, while it's Epic and it's big and everything, like that's a whole they're in a whole different league, I feel like.
I guess there's always been like a divide between Apple computers and PC computers, and that
Yeah.
PCs are kind of like an open box where you can buy a PC or a Windows operating system and do like a number of things with it. You can choose your browsers and stuff like that. And I feel like for Mac, it's always been very closed off. That has, from my knowledge, done a lot to protect Macs. Like, you don't get as many viruses on Mac's computers, and a lot of that's kind of good. But I can see where they would be like, hey, if I want to do anything for these subscribers, I have to pay you money. I see that. I can see that aspect more than I can see, like, if they were doing the same thing with like Sony for PlayStations. It was like, no, we bought a console and we make games for the console. But for Apple, that's not just your phone. That's your phone and an entire line of computers. I know this is the exact opposite of what I said last week, but I did take some time to think about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's so symbolic what they're trying to do versus, I don't know, actually getting something
I
done.
agree. I totally agree with that. I understand why Epic chose to kind of put a line in the sand and say, this isn't cool. All the companies that cut from us, it's not all right. But it's like, Epic, you're already a giant conglomerate. You're
Right.
owned by like you already have a ton of money. And not that you don't need it. I'm sure you pay a lot of people with that money. But it's one of those things like, did you not think that Apple was gonna try and like hit you back?
Yeah,
Like, you made
that's
them
why.
look like jerks last week because they
Yeah.
wanted their cut from their thing that they created. We
I
all
think
use the
that's-
word apps because of Apple.
Also, in Apple's defense, you did sign their terms of service, and it said
Exactly.
specifically not to do that.
So
yeah.
I do find it interesting where this is going to go, especially because Epic has called for an injunction for the thing, obviously, because they said that it would cause irreparable harm to the business, as it would cause developers to go to another game engine to develop their games, and they
Or
wouldn't be able
just
to
not-
come back from that.
Or just not sell them on Macs, which
Exactly.
limits their
So
audience.
it could be both ways. And the reason why Epic is, or not the reason, but the legal reason why they're saying that they can't do that is because the Epic engine itself has not violated any policies. It's only been Fortnite.
Right.
Which, even though they
Right.
do own both of those are two separate things. So you shouldn't be able to do, you shouldn't be able to remove from one thing, even though it hasn't violated any
Right.
policies.
So I heard Brian say that Macs are terrible and you should buy a PC. Did
That's-
anyone else hear that?
That's what I heard.
I mean,
I think he read that off of his iPhone. Yeah.
yeah, I did read that off my iPhone. But yeah, I do
Good.
I just want to see where this goes in the coming months
Yeah.
/ year, whatever.
I mean, it's just one of those
it'll be
things
interesting.
of pick your battles.
Well, I think that's exactly what
And
they
they
are
did.
doing.
Yeah.
I think they are picking
I
this
know,
on
but,
purpose.
like,
I think what you were saying,
pick
Joe,
smarter.
is they are a big company, and that's why they're doing this, because a small company can't go up against Apple.
Yep.
But
Exactly.
Epic can, and I think Epic is doing this just to bring people like us and other people kind of more awareness of Apple's practices, and maybe they make a little bit of a change, but it's going to be a long, hard battle for Epic to try and beat Apple. At
Also,
their
I
own
don't
game.
I don't want to be this guy, but they could also be doing it because Apple takes what 30%, and
Yup.
30% of Fortnite is a lot of money.
It is.
So on one side they could be like, let's fight for the little guy so that everyone could get more money on these platforms.
Right.
But another part of them is probably like, hey, we could get $500 million if they reduce this by 3%. So it's worth the lawsuit to get that 3%.
Right. So what you're saying is, on the mythical side, it's for us. On the realistic side, money.
The world is all gray. It's shades of gray.
50 Shades, some may say.
But
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, no, 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 no.
What? What did I say? I don't get it.
No, we're
What?
moving on. We're moving
I
on.
don't get it. What happened? What happened?
Yeah, we're moving on. So Epic, in case you haven't heard enough about them, is also getting sued from a source that's a little closer to home, for us at least. Coral Castle, the tourist attraction in South Miami, is suing Epic because Fortnite added a location in the game called, you guessed it, Coral Castle. They're claiming intellectual property rights, and Epic so far has declined to comment on the suit.
Do they think they're going to win?
Is the castle in the game made of coral?
Does it? Yeah. Does it look like Coral Castle?
It doesn't really look like it. Like it was added because of the whole Atlantis event that's going on.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now
No,
with
I
DC.
I don't mean
it does have coral in it.
I don't mean does it look like the Coral Castle from
Yeah.
Florida. I mean, does it have coral in the castle?
It does.
Because I feel
It
like
does
you're
have
allowed
coral.
to descriptively name locations. You don't
I
earn
agree.
the word coral.
This is a castle. It has
Everybody's
coral.
suing everybody right now. They just saw a shot
okay.
and they're like,
All right,
maybe
all right.
we'll take a shot.
All right,
Maybe
they
they'll
felt
give us
left
some
out.
money.
I agree. Like, if Disney World was called Magic World,
Right?
then they don't own the word magic.
It's not even magic. It's like if Disney World would call it Brown House, and then they got mad, and everyone was like,
called
that house is
or
brown.
called
And like,
amusement
no, we
park.
own it. Yeah,
If it was just called amusement park, hey, you can't use the word amusement.
we own that. That's silly. It's silly.
Yeah, you can very clearly look at the Coral Castle inside of Fortnite and be like, nah, that's not it. Like, if anything, this has only helped the attraction in South Florida. If anything, they should be like, yeah, we're from Fortnite. Come on down, kids. We need some money.
Yeah, use that.
Would you like to stare at our lame lumps of coral? We made a chair out of coral. Oh, look, here's a table out of coral.
It's haunted though.
Oh.
That's the real draw.
Are the ghosts suing Epic?
Yep, it's those ghosts again. They're
Back
back
to
at it.
ghosts.
Yeah, the
stealing our
conductors,
jobs?
they don't
No.
know. They
Yep.
got nothing else to do with their time. They're about to be ousted out of office, you know?
That's
They got to do
true.
something
Exactly.
with their
True.
time.
Yeah, they stole
I
our
could
jobs.
go to Tsushima. There's a lot of ghosts there.
There are. That's
Oh,
true.
no. Yeah.
And now on to Nintendo. They did their Indie World Showcase, and something special came out of it. Untitled Goose Game is getting a free update that adds co-op.
Oh damn!
Right?
Untitled Geese Game.
Yeah, that's actually where my next bit was. Thanks, Troy. I
Oh.
appreciate it.
You took it. You ruined it.
It's low-hanging fruits. It really is just real low-hanging fruit.
Nah, Troy, I got this one. I got this one. Honk.
There it is. Thanks, Mandy.
Honk.
Welcome to Low-Hanging Fruits, the podcast where I try to make really easy puns. But the update comes out on September 23rd. It's free for everybody who already has it. I wonder what's going to come out of this, because it's going to be awesome. And now finally, some dope Ghost of Tsushima news has come out. Sorry, Amanda. And Joe, would you like to explain it?
Okay, for real. I already love this game. I did not think it was possible to love this game more than I already love this game, even though they took my horse. Let me tell you what. Legends of Tsushima is coming out, I believe, in the fall. You can look it up on PlayStation. It's got all the things. It's bringing co-op mode. It's bringing cool ways to play together. And you know what it's bringing? It looks like yokai are coming. We're getting Japanese fairy tale legends and all their glowing, awesome brutality in another area of the game. I am beyond excited. It looks like Neo and Ghost of Tsushima had a baby, and I'm about those crazy horned demon glowing crazy things. It looks amazing. I cannot wait to play with you guys.
Yeah, I hope I get to make my own character. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks like you do because it looks like there's a lot of customization. In
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, it's an easy way to make money, and just to have us all like riding in together.
Yep, all of us. Every
Come
single
on,
one
Mandy.
of us. All
Hop
of us.
on.
I don't play it either. It's fine.
Mandy's Red
Hey,
Dead
I feel
character
like I'm there
just shows
in
up.
spirit during Red Dead, okay?
You are, sure.
I watch.
That's fine. Brian and I are going to go play our own game. We're going to go organize small boxes. Or
Oh dang! It's a small organized box day.
we're going to play an RTS, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
But yeah, it sounds really awesome. They haven't given a release date for it or anything, but they did announce it, and it really does
And it's
actually
free,
look awesome.
right?
Yeah, it's a free update.
Yeah. You have to have PlayStation Plus or
Yeah,
Yeah.
to play because it's an
yeah,
online.
because it's online.
component.
You have to have that. That's the only thing that you have to pay for aside
That's
from the
so
game.
awesome, though.
Yeah. So that looks really awesome. And then also that's something like that looked pretty cool. Lewis, you saw something, I think, right?
Oh, yeah. So on Netflix, a new documentary series came out called High Score, a video game documentary series that goes through the history of video games. It's a limited series. There are 6 episodes. Each episode ranges between 35 to 50 minutes.
Okay.
And I've seen the first 3, and I put it on today just thinking, oh, I'll just put this on while I do some stuff. I'm not going to really care about it because I like video games, but I don't want to like just have a bunch of information spoken to me
That's what this podcast is for.
That's our podcast.
about like video games. I like video games, but I don't, the history, whatever. And then I finished the episode and I thought, all right, now I want to watch the second one.
Yeah.
Now the third.
It's like, oh,
Oh, right.
I'm being enlightened.
Love video games. I sometimes forget how much video games mean to me in my life.
Yeah.
And then I watch something like this where it just shows you the growth from where they started and how they affect people and how they affect lives and what they've come from. And then I realize again, oh, right, I really do love this.
That's cool, man.
How are the episodes structured? Are they like is like each episode about a person or about a decade? How do they split it up?
I thought it was going to be like going through the decades, and they kind of do, but in each episode they kind of bounce around.
Okay.
The first episode talks about space invaders and talks about like the creation of like arcade games and those
okay.
kind of things. And then the next 2 episodes they talk about everything from Pac-Man to actually they mention Jerry Lawson.
Yeah,
one of
former
our-
Dragon of the Week.
Yeah, one of our
That was
dragons of the
Brian's
week.
Dragon of the Week.
That was.
They talk about that stuff. They talk about the video game essentially crash or recession.
Oh yeah.
And E.T., the worst video game of all time, some say. And they talk about that kind of stuff. And then in the most recent episode, they talk about the kind of bloom of Nintendo.
Okay.
Which
All right,
is
so
really
it seems like
cool.
they're going through like eras more so than anything. It's
Yeah,
just-
that's what it
okay,
really
cool.
is. And they bounce around when they mention something and they go, oh, and this would probably be good to know about this has to do with this.
Cool.
Did they highlight the fact that Nintendo's the reason why girls aren't allowed to play video games? Have they gotten to that part yet?
Actually, you know what's interesting? They talk about so Space Invaders and video games for a while. They were like, oh yeah, so there aren't really girls going to these like arcades. Arcades are like men and they're gross and they smell. And the person that was talking was a Japanese man, and he thought to himself, he's like, you know what? I want to fix that. I want to change that.
Because women can be gross and smell too.
I want more women to play video games. And then he thought about he's like, what do women like? Oh, food. Women like food, right? They're like all that
I think
stuff.
everyone likes food, but okay.
I know. And then it's the guy that made Pac-Man, and Pac-Man had like probably the biggest rise in women starting to play video games, like actively and publicly, not just privately and secretly. So we talk about that stuff, not for the Nintendo stuff.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. It's gonna happen.
It'll also, though, about 15 years later, they will be the ones that make it so that more women play games.
Yep.
It didn't turn out really great to begin with, but they saw the error in their ways and how much money they were losing.
Yeah.
I think it had nothing to do with who they were trying to help. It was the fact that women were in families. We should make them want to play too.
So what was this? What was this series called again, Lewis?
It's called High Score.
Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
a Netflix series, 6 episodes, guys. Really, really good. I'm probably gonna finish it tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll jump in tonight.
Yeah. Nice. All right, cool. And then now that brings us to my favorite part of the week, which is Turn Up For What?
Turn it for what?
And this week, it's going to be a newcomer, which is Melvis from Maceland.
Hi, I'm Melvis. I live in Animal Crossing, and welcome to my anti-shoes, anti-space people podcast titled In Space, No One Can Hear You Shoo.
Melvis, isn't this about turnips?
Wait, what?
You know, turnips.
Oh no. You mean, I eat those. Wait, do you mean like you can sell them?
Yeah.
Oh,
For a lot of money.
Oh, beans. Oh no, I got no idea about that. No, I haven't even left my house in like 3 weeks. I could ask the angry horse guy, but I'm kind of afraid he's gonna punch me because that's just who he is. I got some leftover birthday cake if you want. You want some birthday cake? Cake up for what? Well, I'm gonna go. Well, I guess I'll see you later, other human guy. Tell all the other humans I'm lonely. Bye.
Thank you, Melvis from Maceland.
Has anybody seen my shoes?
Turn up for what?
Melvis is a sweet boy.
Everyone should write Melvis a letter. I feel really bad.
He hasn't left his house in 3 weeks. He's just scared. He's scared the horse is gonna punch him.
Did you ever find his shoes?
No.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't find his shoes.
That'll do it for our news segment. Now that brings us to our Mighty Morsel Tasty Topic.
Mighty Morsel Tasty Topic. You would think
And
we
this week-
rehearsed that like in between.
No, never.
We don't. It's just real.
I'm sad that no one on the internet can see how over it Lewis looks whenever we do that.
I don't know when it happens, so I can't do it. So I'm just like, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna do my listening stuff.
And to be honest, I can't see it because in that part, I'm so in it, my eyes are closed.
Oh.
I'm just there.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, I do the same
noticed
thing.
That.
I'm just glad I do mine first.
Like, I imagine you standing like fists at your hips.
on a cliff in the rain.
Yeah,
Wind
or
blowing.
Like, morphing.
I grow hair so that it can blow.
And this week it's going to be brought to us by Manda.
Yes, we've talked about this topic on and off for the last 2 weeks with all of the allegations that are coming out against both video game CEOs and video game staff in general. But we thought we'd dive a little bit deeper into it. So the question we wanted to ask the podcast is, sometimes you have a favorite game, and then a few months or years after you play that game, it comes out that one of the creators of that game is not acting quite the way you'd like them to. So a recent example is the developer for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The creative director was just fired from Ubisoft. I can say personally for me, that was a bummer because I'm really looking forward to playing that game. And now I feel super conflicted. I both want to play it, but also don't want to play it, but also maybe I'll just play it as a lady and then try not to feel bad about it. But how about you guys? Do you have an example of a game that you love that now is kind of tainted, or how do you handle that kind of situation?
I'm super conflicted as well, and I just don't know. Like, I think for me, Red Dead was that example. They didn't get bogged down with allegations in that regard, but a big expose came out about how they really overworked their employees for Red Dead and how it was just really bad pay for what they were doing, bad hours, and no consideration for their families or them as like human beings, and how they kind of created a culture where the more you push yourself, the more you're regarded as a good employee.
So they made the studio into the Old West.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sounds accurate.
Except unlike Red Dead, this is real life.
Yeah.
And so it was a bummer because when I would play that game, because I think that article came out like a week before the game came out. So I already had it pre-ordered. It was already done. So by the time I was playing that game, as much as I was enjoying like, oh, wow, the way they animated, the way that he picks up that cup and it's so meticulous, or the way the dominoes are they're all different and whatnot. Every time that I would be impressed by what the game did, I also felt bad knowing that someone probably had a horrible experience to make it look that good.
Yeah.
So I feel bad and good at the same time. I'm in awe that they created it, and I'm like, wow, they're really talented, and at the same time feel horrible that they had to do it under such horrible circumstances.
Yeah, I hear you. For me, it's Minecraft with Notch. Minecraft was created by one single person, which was Notch, and he ended up going full QAnon conspiracy. Holocaust didn't happen. All this other
Yikes.
jazz.
Whoa.
And it was conflicting for me because I think by the time that this really happened, I think he had already sold the game to Microsoft. So I don't think he's getting any residuals from it, which kind of makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like, yikes. Like, I really like this game. This game has actually helped so many people all throughout the world.
Yeah.
Millions upon millions, hundreds of millions of people
breeding a
enjoy
whole
their time.
generation of engineers.
Oh yeah. And it's completely changed. Like, how many games now look like Minecraft or have been inspired by Minecraft? Mm-hmm. And so it's one of those I feel conflicted about because, on one hand it's done all this good, and on the other hand it's made this person unbelievably wealthy that he's, completely, off the deep end and whatnot. But for me, it does help because now it is part of a larger team. I would feel differently if it was like the creator of Stardew Valley. We found out, eats babies or something like that. Like, it's still one person.
I knew it.
Who created
I had
a
my
game.
theories. You all called me crazy, but I knew it.
That's why he can't let anyone else work on the game. Just because everyone's
eating them
put off
all.
with the baby.
No, he's just eating them all.
Just to be clear, the creator of Stardew Valley does not eat babies. I repeat,
That
he
we
does
know
not
of.
Eat babies.
I'm in the same boat. I kind of it depends on the development team actually for me. If it's a one person show and that one person does something so horrible, it really taints how I think about whatever that is then. But if it's one person on a team, for some reason my mind is like, no, there was like 100 other people who worked on that deserve me to be happy about the artwork that they created. That one person shouldn't taint it so much for me. But it really depends on the game, I guess. If there was one guy working on it, like with Minecraft, I can't even imagine playing that. That's just like, if you go that far off the deep end, like, I don't think I want to support that. It's not my jam. But if there were like 1 million people working on this project, every once in a while, somebody on your team's a crappy person.
I always feel bad about it because it's on one side, it's like, hey, the game is really good and I want to support good content. But on the other side, it's like, well, yeah, but the working conditions to make the game weren't great. But then you're like, oh, but all these people worked on this game and they deserve for their efforts to be recognized. And then on the other hand, you're just like, yeah, but some of these not great people are going to earn lots of money. And then it's just like, well, it's only some of the people. But then you're like, yeah, but then the other people supported an environment that let those few people thrive. So I'm just in this mental block of like, should I enjoy it? Should I not enjoy it? What can I do? This is my long way of saying that video game developers should have a union. I just want I was going to preface it with all this information.
Yeah, careful hours.
Push my political agenda.
A better way to deal with HR, definitely.
I've never experienced this, conflict.
Well, you're experiencing it now, man.
Am I?
Yeah, Red Dead or Assassin's Creed.
It's very too late for Red Dead. I've been playing that game forever.
But now that you have this knowledge, how does it make you feel playing it?
I'm already too deep, man.
So it doesn't affect you.
No, it does. No. Now,
and that's fine.
Now, if this is an example, this is not a real thing.
Okay.
If the creator of Last of Us, were all of a sudden to come out that
he eats babies.
No, that he abused women.
Oh, okay.
And then if something like that were to come out, even though I already beat both games and loved them and talked about them, top 5 games of all time, yeah, that would affect me.
Right.
That would definitely affect me, especially considering the second one.
And that's where we're kind of at with Valhalla is we're finding, and not just Ubisoft in general, is we're hearing more and more ways that people have taken advantage of their power over women in their workplace. And so if it was just one person, then it'd be good to look at all the other people. But it seems to be a whole host of people, which more breeds to, or more leads to a toxic work environment. These games that I would enjoy are made under.
I get that.
It makes it toxic. Even playing the game makes it toxic.
I guess it would. Yeah, I agree with you. It's not good. Definitely not. Again, I go back to like the whole last of it idea, because he wrote the game, or he wrote the story. So if someone who wrote the story about a thing and then they kind of do that thing that happens in the game in a way, that would not be cool.
Do you think you'd be able to play their next game?
No.
Okay.
Definitely not. Especially if they're the writer. I'm not saying it's better, but if they were like just a programmer or one of the many developers within the team, it wouldn't be better, but it would be different.
Okay.
It's not normally like a team member. It's never like, oh yeah, the guy who did the QA, it was him. It's always like the CEO or the CFO or the creative director or the owner of all the money.
Or even, I do think that there has happened. I do think that the programmers or whatnot, but because they're so low in the totem pole, they just get rid of them, as they're supposed to.
Right.
But if they're higher up, they try to hide it. They try to do all these other things, which just compounds the issue and just makes it worse. Although
I heard that I don't know the details about this, and I should do research before I talk about things, but I know Riot Games in general, the articles that came out were like there were multiple individuals across the company. Just the general environment was toxic. So I guess I feel you either have like one or the other. It's like a few bad eggs at the top, or like you've created an environment where people are just allowed to be kind of scummy and you don't correct them, so it just continues to degenerate until.
Correct. Yeah.
Right.
So it's an interesting topic. I do think it depends on, case by case basis, for myself at least. Yeah.
And for me, I don't have an answer. This is that topic that I don't have an answer for.
Yeah.
I think I'm just continuously conflicted when I play this. Same thing when I hear music by artists who have done bad things, but I've enjoyed their music in the past.
Or seen
now
movies.
When I hear movies, when I see those movies or hear those movies, I still enjoy the movie, but it comes also with the bad feelings that went into making those things.
Actors.
Yes, all of that. It for me, I just end up having a worse experience than I would have because of their actions.
Mm-hmm.
So the real question is, are you going to play Assassin's Creed Valhalla?
Yes. But now it won't be as good.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, good topic there, Amanda. It just doesn't have an answer, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Agreed. But now that brings us to our Dragon of the Week.
It's the Dragon of the Week. Oh, it's so sleek. It's the Dragon of the Week. Yeah, I'm talking about this week. Dragon of the Week. Dragon of the Week.
And Dragon of the Week is our chance to show a little love, shine a little spotlight on some companies, some individuals, maybe some groups of peoples that are, that have helped in the gaming industry. Or even just affected us personally. I mean, this is a podcast and there's 5 of us on it. So this week, Troy is going to bring it to us.
My dragon of this week is none other than the stalwart staple of online streaming and professional Counter-Strike player, Shroud.
Ooh.
Now, Lewis, I am not very fluent when it comes to esports. You may not know this about me.
Oh, yeah.
So honestly, the first time that the name Shroud kind of floated through my ears was probably last year or so when Apex came out and we were like, Apex! One of the reasons it was so popular is because there was this streamer online who had gotten a copy of the game maybe a couple weeks or a month ahead of time. So by the time the game shadow dropped, he was already a master at it. And friends of mine would just be like, have you heard about Shroud on Twitch? Have you heard about Shroud on Apex? Shroud on Apex? I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, this person's on it and he's just murking fools. And it's like day one that the game comes out for the rest of us. And then I was like, well, I got to check this out. And he's amazing. He's like, he's just super skilled. And I hadn't heard of him beforehand. And like I said, this is only last year, but Shroud's been in the game for much longer than that. Not too much longer because he's not that old. But it did strike some interest in me because the more I heard of him and watched some of his highlights, the more I realized that he's got something very fascinating and genuine about him. And I realized that I wanted to know more. So I'm going to let you all know more. Let's start at the beginning. Shroud was born in Mississauga, Canada. His real name is Michael Grzesiek. And he was born, and everyone, take a nice deep breath, in 1994. Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Okay. I was expecting worse. That's fine. Actually.
Good. I want your expectations to go higher, so it's less of a hit.
I was expecting more zeros.
Yeah, I
in
was.
2004.
Oh, God.
No. He's 26 year old. He's 26. But before he was a streamer, he was just a kid whose dad worked on computers. And one day while he was super young, his dad was like, "Yo, Mikey, check this out." I don't know if that's how his dad actually sounds, but
It sounds like
Was he giving his kid kicks? Is that what's going on?
Yo, Mikey, get some kicks. Or he's like Raphael
Oh, yeah.
in like the 90s.
Mikey!
Hey, yo, Mikey,
Hey,
check this
Mikey!
out. He sat the kid down and introduced him to computer gaming. I mean, his dad's into computers and he was into gaming. He was like, well, my kid's old enough. Let's get to it. And this had a huge impact on him, obviously. So his dad was into Counter-Strike as well at the time, so it was no surprise that Shroud took very naturally to it. When he turned 17 years old, he noticed how he was allotting a lot of time playing online shooters, but he was also watching other players stream it. This was probably before Twitch, I think. This might have been back in the Justin TV days.
Yeah,
y'all remember that? Do you remember that?
I do. I do.
Whew, those were some times. Back then, streaming was just like watching chickens in somebody's yard like walk around, and it was riveting. So anyway, so he jumped on streaming back in 2011, and according to him, he was just like us. He's like, no one watched. I spent a full year streaming, and I was probably my only viewer. But one thing that he did have was great skill. He was a good Counter-Strike Go player. And with that, people started watching him. Not many, just, a couple here or there or whatnot. But word started getting out as to how good of a player he actually was, to the point that a recruiter for professional Counter-Strike caught wind of his stream and was like, yeah, that guy can aim good. And through some works and things like that, he ended up getting drafted eventually to join Team Cloud9 in 2015. So that's a good, 3 to 4 years after he started streaming. Mm-hmm. He's only 17 at this point, I think. Or yeah, at this point he's 20, 21. Yeah. So with Cloud9, he played an integral part in gaining that team world recognition on the Counter-Strike Go competitive stage, and also making North America a viable contender in the world. Before, that just wasn't a thing, but they helped be like, hey, look, we can do things too.
Oh, so it was like soccer.
Yeah. We can hit the ball, I swear. But he didn't stop streaming, and that was kind of a thing that was kind of controversial about him. He did put a lot of time into it and whatnot, but towards the end of his Counter-Strike career, he started streaming at night, and he got a lot of flack for that because people were like, hey man, if you have extra time, you should be practicing Counter-Strike. And he's like, yeah, but I'm also not a robot. I'm sorry. Did I come out loud? Did I say that out loud?
Damn.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean, I wasn't trying to.
It's fine.
I wasn't even. So yeah, so Homeboy was like, I play and I practice, but I love streaming. I'm not going to give that up. And he received a lot of flack from diehard CSGO fans. After working with Cloud9, after a lot of clutch victories and a few very brutal losses, Shroud retired from Counter-Strike Go in 2017 and decided to fully commit himself to streaming. And that's where stuff got real because he made a name for himself in esports. He was able to bring all of those esport fans back to his stream to kind of put a nice influx into his viewer base, which was wonderful. It also didn't hurt that in 2017, a little known game called PlayerUnknown's Battleground came out, PUBG, and Shroud was literally the best at this game in the world. He and PUBG were synonymous when it comes to Twitch. I mean, PUBG is the game that successfully launched the battle royale genre that kind of brought it to the popular masses. So the timing of Shroud and PUBG was perfect to the point that he became a Twitch superstar that year. We're talking ninja numbers. Wow. 40,000, 50,000. It just kept on rising. What I like about Shroud is his style. He is chill. He is skilled. He doesn't do gimmicks. And not that I have anything against people who do gimmicks out there. You've got Ninja who will have the dance parties. You have like the Tat Man who's out there trying to make a gimmick out of his stream. I can't say it right. Thanks, Mandy. He just games. He just has skill. And I don't mean that in like a derogatory form, but he just lets his playing speak for itself. Okay. And then he engages in just genuine conversation with his chat base. And I think that's actually really interesting. It's a brand that is unique to him when it comes to the very high profile streamers out there. He also uses his stream to reach out to lesser streamers. He's kind of known for finding some streamers who are struggling or not doing so well and getting to like watching their streams, getting to know them a little bit, and then hosting them on his stream. Whoa. Even to the point that he found the streamer who was making music. She's a music streamer. And through watching her a couple times, she just had, maybe 100 viewers at most. He noticed that her child is 5 years old, is battling type 1 diabetes, and they just got the diagnosis, and they're kind of figuring this out. Wow. He hosted her, essentially putting her on his channel live, and pretty much she just saw her subscriptions just skyrocket up, and she's just like in tears, like I don't know what to do. It's like a wall of subscriptions, and this is the first time you'll ever seen me, and I'm crying. and the entire time he's just like, don't worry about it, just go. He's not someone who's like, yeah, that's right, look what I did. He's just like, it's okay, just go for it, you're great, make it happen. He does that with a few people. That's quite awesome. A few people, and he's only 26. Damn. Yeah, he's using his power for good. Yeah. He moved to Mixer because off of Twitch and moved to Mixer because he saw Microsoft was trying something new, and he really did. I watched the whole stream of his where he actually talks about why he moved to Mixer. And it has a lot to do with what we talked about, like having diversity in the environment. Twitch really is kind of the main hitter when it comes to streaming video games. And at that time, there wasn't a lot of competition. So to have Mixer, who's backed by Microsoft, he knew that he could jump into Mixer. And even if they didn't do well, at least they're backed by someone so that like their employees are fine. Right. Like they'll be okay. Right. So he found it to be a very measured way to try and expand the industry, because he realizes, hey, if it's only Twitch and the industry is just going to be under Amazon, then that's not good for the longevity of a career. Yeah. It's not how you build an industry. It's got to be diverse. It's got to be competitive. So it didn't work, as we know. He ended up getting his contract fulfilled, at least by Facebook, who bought out Mixer and whatnot. But he decided not to go back to Facebook or YouTube, but to come back to Twitch, as we reported, and came back to a lot of welcomed arms. Nice. There was definitely a lot of backlash for people who were upset with him leaving to begin with, but honestly, the people who watch him understand where he's coming from, understand that he's here to play games, and so that's what they're going to watch him for. Yeah. He streams every day of the week. Every day? At least at his height. Maybe, I don't know about like since he came back to Twitch, but when he was in his prime, it's his job. When
but like I don't work weekends.
I got weekends though.
He adopted that when he saw a streamer when he started watching, who was like one of the first streamers to start doing it every single day. Like they quit their job and decided to do it full on. He kind of took that model to show like, hey, I'm taking this seriously. I want people to know that I'm here to do a show and I'm here for you all and to be available. So it's actually pretty interesting. Yeah, when he came back to Twitch, he had a big old goatee. He had his corn goatee on, and it was very funny because he is a young dude, but he looked like he had just had like his third kid in like a great way, like a very proud way.
Yeah, they were calling him Daddy Shroud.
Yeah, Daddy Shroud.
Oh man.
And yeah, I just love that his model is just so straight. It's hey, come to my channel to see me do very well at this game. Or ask me to play a game that you think I'll fail at. or ask me to play a game that you think I may be good at or not good at. And therefore, either way, if I win or lose, it's good content for you to watch.
Has he played Dream Daddy?
Oh, he's playing that in real life right now.
Yeah. And there's no losers in Dream Daddy. Everybody wins.
That's true. Everyone wins.
So in the end, I find Shroud an extremely positive influence on gaming, streaming, and entertainment. And he's only 26. I can't wait to see what he does in the industry going forward. So
I've never seen his stream. I only watch our stream and our friends' stream.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna check it out because it sounds really chill.
Yeah,
It doesn't say,
it's-
like you said, not gimmicky, which I don't really
Yeah.
care for gimmicky things.
Right.
Like our friend doesn't really do gimmicky things.
Yeah, like not putting lobster hands on and
yeah,
whatnot.
or like
and-
wearing like
or-
a full.
Oh, that
like,
sounds fun.
It does sound fun. No. There is definitely a place for that. I'm just saying
For
that
sure.
is that it's good to have variety.
Yes.
You have some people who will.
Troy coming
Do
out
that.
against lobster hands. More on
I'm
lobster hands.
anti-lobster
over here.
hands over here. I'll say it once. I'll say it again. Down with lobster hands. His stream isn't necessarily like the most entertaining, so to speak, as far as like comedy or whatever.
Yeah.
But you'll be impressed by just his skill level and his engagement with being able to have real
I
conversations.
was about to say,
with
if he
his
can
chat.
talk with the people, then that's really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
absolutely. So nicely done there, Troy. And that was what was his name again?
That is Shroud, Michael Grzesiek.
All right. I think we all learned a little bit of something. I think it's our first streamer that we've done for Dragon
Yeah.
Week.
Wow. There we go.
So yeah, that will do it for this week's episode, though.
Ba-bum, ba-bum.
But you can always find us online.
Check us out on Instagram to keep up with all of our weekly happenings. Every time we stream on Twitch, every time that we go live on the podcast, and sometimes when we do some other random things. Instagram is the place to go. Check out our Twitter. Manny does a great job curating and highlighting really interesting and fascinating indie games, and we pretty much dedicate our Twitter just to highlighting those independent games. So check that out for that content as well. And yeah, we'll be on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday evening doing different programs. So go ahead and check it out right now. We have archivals of a bunch of fun content on there as we speak. And yeah, go ahead and help us take the next step forward here.
That's right.
In the,
That's right.
in the video game world.
But yeah, as always, though, my name is Brian,
My name is Troy.
Amanda.
I'm Lewis.
And I'm Joe.
and we are.
the
Taste of
Dragons.
Take care, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Down with lobster hands.
Static, come home.
Taste of Dragons Gaming Podcast, a podcast for everyone's taste.